Imagine working 30 to 40 hours a week without getting paid. Now imagine your boss taking home millions of dollars while you do most of the hard work. Sounds pretty horrible, doesn't it? Well, this is the case with all college athletes. And now you may ask, well, don't they receive a scholarship? While most of them do, some of them don't. But the profit that the NCAA makes off of ticket sales and merchandise far exceeds the dollar amount of scholarships given out per year by schools. So basically, other people are profiting off of the college athletes, and the college athletes come back with nothing. What I want to talk about today are the problem with not paying college athletes, why it's a problem, and the solution to the problem of not paying college athletes. So not paying college athletes has a lot of negative effects. In the past 10 years, there have been a lot of scandals involving college athletes and boosters and accepting money and stuff like that. So back about 4 years ago, there was a scandal at the University of Miami involving boosters giving money to players. And so basically what happened was star athletes coming out of high school were recruited, and the boosters would give them money to influence them to come to the schools. And this happened also in 1980 with SMU. And another situation at the university, or the Ohio State University, college athletes were caught selling autographs, selling jerseys, memorabilia, stuff like that, in order to get tattoos, get discounts on cars. And while you may think this is a college athlete problem, they did this so they deserve the consequences, they shouldn't have to go through the lengths that they do, selling their jerseys, accepting money from strangers that they barely know, when they could be getting money from the profit the NCAA makes, because they can't work, they have no time, they take classes, they go to practice, they have mandatory weight room sessions, they have their games, so they have no time for work, let alone free time for themselves, and which causes a big problem. So why is it a problem? So I've already explained to you some of the physical problems that come along with it. Now I want to delve into the ethical problems. So the NCAA makes a lot of profit off of football, baseball, and basketball season. Those are the big three. And the specific example I want to go into is March Madness. So March Madness is an NCAA basketball tournament to determine the national championship for that season. And it's a 3-week event that takes place in March to early April. And there's a lot of ticket sales, there's a lot of merchandise sales, and there's big TV deals that happen. So the NCAA profits $730 million off of this single event, this 3-week event. So you can only imagine what they profit off of in a whole season of football, baseball, and basketball. It's billions of dollars. And this is all because of the college athletes, yet they receive none of the profits. And another ethical problem that arises is exploitation. So these college athletes are exploited. An example I came up with is in 2006 and 2009, the University of Florida had one of the most famous college athletes of all time, Tim Tebow, and they were selling jerseys with the number 15 on the back, which is his number, shirts with the number 15 on the back, stuff that you knew was for Tim Tebow, and people were buying them. But because they didn't have his last name on the back of the jersey, they didn't have to share any of the revenue with him. And so they find a little loophole and they jip him out of all the profits he could have been making, which again is another ethical issue. And another exploitation example I came up with is the video game NCAA football created by EA Sports. So EA Sports created a football game very similar to Madden, in which you can play as different college teams football, and the college athletes received none of the play, even though they were technically in the game, although the loophole was that they didn't have their name on the back of the jersey. In recent years, so it's, I think a year ago, they stopped making the game because college athletes sued the NCAA for this and for them exploiting this, and they stopped making the game. So the solution I came up with, as far as the NCAA, with one of the solutions I came up with is to give the athletes a stipend of $1,000 to $2,000 a semester, which is aid for food, clothing, etc. And so that's what the NCAA can do. So how can you help? You can sign a petition. They have petitions online at bigger schools. There's people walking around with petitions that you can sign. So those are some of the ways that you can help, as well as how the NCAA can fix the problem. So paying college athletes causes problems because athletes are exploited by the system, and while there is a solution, nothing has happened yet. And until then, the NCAA will continue to exploit athletes and run away with millions of dollars, leaving the athletes with no compensation. How would you feel if you were in their shoes?